So Gunther's title reign, now that it's over, was pretty mid. Over the year once he won it from Damian Priest at SummerSlam, which kicked off his reign, I was really excited for the future of Gunther and what they were gonna do with him with the title, since the IC title reign was such a monster reign. You know, the 666 days, the various defenses, the main event Raws that he's did, a lot of the matches that made people like Gable and stuff like that. I was hoping that would now happen on a higher level. The real only match it felt like that Gunther really was elevated and the title looked important was his match against Randy Orton in Germany, which I think for Gunther, personally will probably be a highlight for him. But unfortunately, there weren't enough big name opponents that Gunther had to really elevate and push him past that mid-card destroyer role. Whereas with the IC title, he fought practically everyone in the mid card. I think the world title picture should have seen that. We should have seen, a Sammy match. We should have seen not only a Randy match. We should have seen maybe a Seth Rollins match. We should have seen a Drew McIntyre match. Not necessarily full on feuds, but I do think Gunther did need a higher amount of defenders or a higher amount of defenses that would have highlighted his reign and made his reign feel more important. With what's happening right now to Gunther, facing Pat McAfee at Backlash, it's kind of interesting that the crisis of character storyline started now and not necessarily with the title. At the end of the day, I think what they did with him and Jey Uso was pretty good. It's just that people weren't really rooting for Jey as much because they felt that Gunther still had a lot left to prove and a lot left in the tank as a world heavyweight champion. Like, the man could have faced Brock. Obviously, I'm not going to say that the Brock thing would have been a guarantee, but he should have had a lot more wins over top card guys, like I said earlier, with Rollins and, other people like that, like a Punk or something like that as well, to really legitimize his reign. Because when he lost to Cody, it kind of put that title on that second level pedestal. Like, when Rollins had it, it was constantly with him, and he was also involved in one of the most important storylines of the year, so it elevated that title. Gunther really needed a monster run where he was defending it on Raw and making it the prize of Raw, throughout that year. And unfortunately, with his reign, he didn't really do that. So let me know what you guys think about Gunther's title reign. Was it worth? Should Jey Uso be champion right now? Should Gunther still hold the title? Should he never won it in the first place? Let me know.